All right, so we are recording and I'll send the recording out later. So if you have to leave early, we'll be here for an hour at the longest. And if you have to leave early, you can just leave and you'll get the recording later. And this is to make sure that I'm going to tell you a little bit more about 5X your farm sales, but if you have questions, you can raise your virtual hand and ask them. And your virtual hand is at the bottom of the screen under reactions. If you click on reactions, there's a little yellow raise hand, and you can click that button, and then I will just call on you in order. So I've invited a couple of my clients here today, Stephanie Herron and Emily Hebner. I don't know where they show up on your screen, but these women are both in 5X Your Farm Sales. Emily's been in it for about 6 months, so I wanted her perspective as a newer person. Stephanie has been in it for probably at least 2 years, maybe 3 years. And so I want you to, I just want, I have this passion for every farmer everywhere, knowing that there's help for you to learn how to make money on your farm with calm and ease, meaning not from a place of stress and overwhelm where a lot of people show up. But like, you've been getting the email, so you've seen the program is a year long, and then you can come back year after year, like Stephanie, and you have access to everything from the beginning. Where I recommend you start, if you haven't read this in the emails already, is I always recommend starting with the time management program. Even if you think you're good at time management, that is going to change your life and your farm. that program alone is wonderful. Then you would move to the marketing program, Farm Marketing from the Heart. Also, that's where you're going to learn the money making side of it, how to make money through relationship based marketing. And then we have our coaching calls every week, which is the heart of the program. And that's where I want the two ladies today are going to share about that. So first of all, before we get into any of your questions, and you can raise your hands at any time if you want to, I want to introduce both Stephanie and Emily. Sorry, people are still joining, so I'm still clicking the admit button here. So Stephanie, since you've been around long term, why don't you go first? Tell us who you are, where you're located, what your farm is, and maybe like the top few things that when you joined the program that it has done for you. Okay? You can unmute yourself and do that.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Stephanie Herron. I'm from Southeast Texas, so I live right on the Gulf. I'm about 15 minutes from the Louisiana border. And I have a very small, a quarter-acre urban farm or homestead, whatever you want to call it. But my main thing are goat milk soaps. I also do farm classes for kids and families as well. And I actually got featured. This is a big thing. I didn't post about this. I got featured in the top 100 things to do in Beaumont, that like must things to do in Beaumont. And so I'm about 30 minutes from Beaumont, Texas. So anyway, I've actually been with you, Charlotte, longer than 3 years because I was in your private coaching. You private coached me.
That's
So
right. 5 years.
so so like 2017, six
Yeah.
something like a long time.
Yeah. Wonderful.
um so I actually joined to learn how to sell my soaps. I was kind of flailing. I had no idea what to do. And so I initially joined, I found Charlotte I think through a milking video, like how to clean your milking machines. I know it was it was for cows, but same thing, same thing with goats. So I had joined to, or I had watched that to learn how to do that. And so I think from there it just kind of went. And then as I learned to how to market, So I guess it was Sales Made Simple or something. I don't remember the order or sequence of things. But my cousin, there was some turmoil going on in my life. And my cousin's like, you need to get your mind. He's an entrepreneur, very successful entrepreneur. And he's like, you need to get your mind right. Like, if you want to be successful at this, you need to get your mind right. And so Charlotte like offered this. I'm like, okay, well, if that's what I need to do, then that's what I'm going to do. And so as I've been through this whole program, the last 2 years I've sold out on all of my soaps. Now I don't make like thousands and thousands of bars of soap, but it was just like a huge deal. It was a huge deal because this year was the first year that I had to like cancel places where I was going to go because I didn't have anything to sell. And I had people going like, why, I need these soaps. I'm like, I told you in an email that I was about ready to sell out or I was going to sell out. And so you need to make sure you're on my email list. And
Yeah.
so,
And I'm going to interrupt right there and just explain a little bit about how, because everyone hears me talk a lot about selling out and what that means. So when someone like Stephanie has to spend all year trying to sell her soaps, it's exhausting. It not only exhausts you physically, mentally, emotionally, exhausts your customers that you're trying to sell to. They're like, I've been hearing about her trying to sell her soaps all year. So when I teach you all to sell out in one email and make sometimes I've got farmers in there making their whole year's worth of sales in one email or 1 week of emails. It's life-changing. You get your time back, and then your customer base sees you as more of a friend versus someone trying to sell to them all the time. So then when you do have that one thing to sell once a year or all season long, they buy from you at the price you need to charge. So then also when you sell out, your prices go up. So this is where farmers become profitable, finally making money. So Stephanie has done that. She now sells out on her products. And then once you sell out, you've created so much demand, your price goes up and your profit margins go up. So Stephanie's doing it with soaps, but she's an example of my clients doing it with, you name it, beef.
I do it with I do it with my classes too.
Your classes, we have raw milk people doing the same thing. Anything, knitwear, alpaca knitwear. Used to take her all year to sell her knitwear. She sells out, makes about $40,000 in a couple hours now, one day out of the year. So that's such a neat thing. So that's the financial side of it. Tell us about what are some personal things where you've grown that used to get in the way of the business, and they seemed like personal, like they shouldn't bother your business, but our personal lives and our business are run by the same brain. So you have to clean up your personal life. So share a couple of those wins.
Oh gosh, there's so many. I was thinking about that, but I would, okay, I'm going to go with the first two things that come to my brain. And the first one is I'm a single mom of 3 kids, and my oldest child is in the Marines. So I have a fantastic like I am so grateful for my children and the relationship that I have with my children. My children trust me so much that they send their friends to me because I'm the wise mom. And
it wasn't always that way.
Yes, it wasn't always that way.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, tell us what that means to you. I know they're two different things. She's making money over here, but why has changing that relationship with your kids, which I was with you all along the way. How has that affected you? What's that mean to you?
Life is just so much sweeter and better. And my kids are released. Like I don't require my kids to regulate my emotions. So I regulate my own emotions. And so they feel free enough to come to me and be like my son, I can say this. He eloped, and he was scared to tell everybody but me.
Okay, that is so huge. Knowing how I know you from a few years ago, to like that brings tears to my eyes that because I know the struggles you had a few years ago with your kids and
Yeah,
how it was affecting your farm business. So he eloped and you were the only one he felt safe enough to tell. That's huge, Stephanie.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was just like this past year, just, and my girl, I have two teenage girls. And how many of you can like raise your hand and say your teenage girls want to spend time with you? My girls want to be with me. Like this is the sweetest thing. When they're at my house, when I have them for the weekend, from 8 o'clock, like the TV goes off at 8:30, we get ready for bed, we head upstairs and we sit there and we talk. I still read it to them. They're 15 and 17, and I still read books to them. And we have discussions for like an hour. It's like, oh my gosh, like
Yeah.
y'all.
Yep. Yeah. And these are so there's a lot of programs out there people buy, try to make money on your farm. But I feel like what they are missing is the thing that we've got in this program. And it's, you can have a farm that's making money and even making a profit. But if your brain is not managed, it's going to be unsustainable. So many people throw in the towel because it's not worth the stress on the relationship. So that's one of the, you think it's a money making course, but you only make money after you do all the calming down of your life and your relationships start to improve. And then the money comes with ease. It almost
It
seems like magic.
this like I don't, it's not that I don't care about the money. I have money goals and everything, especially now that I've done coaching and stuff. Like I was in the coaching course. But just for my mind, like that's what kept me coming back every single year. It wasn't about me making the more money. It was about how my mind was changing
Yeah.
every year.
Yeah. And I see that so often because the money becomes secondary. When you don't have money, it is all you can focus on, which has the weird effect of almost making it harder to make money. So when you get everything else in order, and the money becomes, you're not graspy about making money on your farm, then you start to make money, which is why I don't know anyone who can make money without mindset coaching. Make money in a way that is sustainable, meaning you can farm long term in the business the way it is without taking meds
Right.
or all the other things we do to cope. We've created all these very calm business owners that still have all the same problems that farmers do. You're still faced with all the interruptions and we've had ice storms this week and things breaking and all that. But you just face it with matter of fact and calm, and you've got money in the bank to take care of the problem. So that's also why this program is a year long, because you're not going to rewire your brain and change lifetime habits of overreacting or reacting the way you do in say 2 weeks or 6 weeks or 2 months. So I say, give me a year with you. And let's talk to Emily now. You've been in the program 6 months and you've had so many amazing changes because you have implemented the coaching. That's the other thing. Just buying the program doesn't change. It's you implementing, you taking maybe a thought that I offer and actually implementing it, or the skills I offer. And then you go to your website and you actually do the thing. That's when you start to notice the changes. So Emily, tell us about, and any of you can ask Stephanie and Emily anything you want to about the program as well. So feel free to do that. But Emily, tell us who you are, where you are, and same thing. Like, what are some of the changes that have changed? How have you changed in 6 months? It's been so profound.
Hey, I'm Emily Hebner. I am in Central Virginia, right between Richmond and Charlottesville, right on I-64. So hit my top things. So I was writing them out for Charlotte yesterday, and it was so helpful because I hadn't put all these pieces together. I think the most profound thing is I have had pretty severe anxiety all of my life, and I've been medicated for it for the past few years. And within just the last few months, I haven't had to take I was taking one prescription like 3 times a day. I could take it. And I just realized I haven't really been taking it because I haven't needed it. And my anxiety is just so much less. And I attribute it to so many parts of the coaching program of 5X, but I think a lot of it just comes down to the time management. I was spending so much time spiraling on what should I be doing? I feel like I'm doing the wrong thing, all of that. And now I have a plan of what I'm doing and I knock it out. And then I do the things, I take care of my kids, I cook, I just don't do anything. I read a book and I don't feel guilty about it, or I take a nap, like, but everything's getting done. And it just feels, I just feel so much more wholeness and so much more space around it. And then I think the other thing that really comes up is I'm able to do what I love, and that's connect with the customers. I didn't even include this when I was writing to Charlotte, but as Stephanie was talking, it made me think of it. I really love connecting with my customers, and I always thought I always had to be selling, but really I apologize. I'm a flower farmer. And so right now I'm not growing anything. And so I've just spent all fall and winter just like chatting with them and just connecting and like, helping them get to know me, and I'm getting to know them and that sort of thing. And then I won't sell. I'm telling them things about the farm and what we're up to and that sort of thing, but I won't sell until we get closer. And I love that I have this opportunity to do what feels the best to me and really connect with them. And that I don't feel like selling no longer feels like a bad word to me. It's like, and that's just so profound. So I'm so grateful. The whole dynamic has shifted in my head.
Yeah. And I want to go further and deeper on that too, because I've worked with thousands of farmers now in the last decade, and hundreds of them in exactly this situation. When you calm your brain down and you build relationships, which is what the program teaches you step by step, building relationships, and you just sell for a minimal amount of time, you will sell out. And your prices, we will get your prices raised before you market this, whenever it is, February or March, that you're marketing what you have in your flower business. Because of that relationship building that you were able to calm down your anxiety and spend the winter doing, you will sell out at your new prices. We see that a lot in this program, where people raise their prices once, twice, 3, 4 times. Sometimes the first time they realize I need to be charging double what I'm charging, but I didn't know how to do it. And the process, the 5X process shows you how to do it. So a lot of farmers, I'm just going to assume some people have the same question. They don't know what coaching is. I know I got to spend time yesterday on Zoom with one lady who's on here. I won't call you out, but she thought that the coaching calls were because this is new in the farming world, but she thought coaching was you jump on the Zoom each week and talk about your farm. So Emily, would you be willing to share because coaching is me. I'm trained in a very specific way using neuroscience to help you solve problems that you've struggled with your whole life in maybe 20 minutes. So would you mind sharing? And I know I'm asking you to be vulnerable, but we get vulnerable on the calls you don't have to raise your hand to be coached like Emily did. You will change just watching, but what has your experience been with raising your hand to be coached on a call?
It's so good because Charlotte is holding space for you, and she's so good at helping you process while making you feel safe. And
it's emotional, huh? I know.
It's so,
and I'll let
it's incredible. I've been in therapy for so long, and somehow within 20 minutes, Charlotte just gets to the nugget, and you can feel your whole body relax and you get to the real heart of the issue, and it just releases. When I started, my first call with Charlotte was around the why of flowers, which sounds not very emotional, but for me, it was huge. My mom never valued buying cut flowers. And for years, I had spent all this time reading marketing books and like trying to understand the why of flowers. And Charlotte, in 20 minutes, just broke it open, and it was just incredible. And then on Monday, I had something I've been struggling with all my life, and I knew I could bring it to Charlotte. And even though, people are on the call, and I knew hundreds of people will see it after the call, it felt like a safe thing. I have struggled with weight a lot, and and now, like, being the face of my business, it feels even more pressing. I don't like how I look in pictures. Even though I'm not selling food, I have an idea that I want to look like a fit person and be representative. There's like a lot of stories and a lot of feelings coming up around it. And so I was able to bring this to Charlotte and have a really in-depth conversation that gave me a lot of actionable strategies, but also just made it feel less fraught. I can feel it right now. Like, Charlotte just brought so much compassion to it, but also so much actionable strategy. So, and the things I was struggling with was like really snacking in the evening. And since Monday, I think that's what our call was, and it's Thursday, it just like hasn't been an issue. It's like something got broke open and I saw it, and it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah. And I want to comment on that because some of you watching may think, what does snacking have to do with 5Xing your farm sales? Everything. Because it's not, if for Emily, it was snacking, but for others of us, it might be, we find ourselves avoiding doing what we need to do in the business by going on deep in the internet or on social media or wine or whatever, or texting or Snapchatting in anything over here instead of doing the money making things in our business. Like, let's raise our prices. Let's do the thing to build our email list today. Let's get 10 more people on our email list today. Let's create the marketing email. We avoid doing the money making things because they feel tedious and hard, and we feel confused. And so to avoid those feelings, we go over here and do these other things that bring us pleasure. Sitting down and watching Netflix, or like I said, so many things on the phone. We think we're watching a YouTube video to learn farming, which is great, except that if it's keeping us from making money, it's a problem. And so Emily I'm just so grateful that you were willing to be vulnerable Monday in the coaching call, but also today, and share that with everybody, that when you are able to pull out, or I am with the asking you questions, pull out those things that are in the way of you making money. Lots of times you don't know that many of you are farming generationally. And sometimes it's, wow, I didn't know I had that voice in my head of my father-in-law telling me this thing. And now that I had a coaching call and cleared that up, I'm able to communicate better, and working on the farm happens with so much more ease, and we have clear boundaries. So many wonderful things happen. So that's why, again, I often say there's nowhere in the farming industry you are finding this kind of work where we clear up the actual blocks. We aren't just putting Band-Aids and teaching you how to advertise or do Facebook ads. We teach you how to make money, but we clear up all the roadblocks. We get to the root of every issue in coaching and clear it up. I want to answer a question Alfredo asked. So are the coaching calls conducted with a group and not one-on-one? So when they are group calls, you have 2 private calls a year with our private one-on-one coach. I have never done one-on-one coaching in 5X Your Farm Sales. I do group coaching because when the 270 people watch Emily's session yesterday, Stephanie just watched it this morning. She said, when everybody watches Emily get coached, they all up level. And sorry, I'm just muting someone there. they all change. You change. When you watch Emily get coached on snacking and you realize, oh, for me, it's a glass of wine every night or scrolling on social media that's keeping me stuck, you will change that in the moment. And so you will grow so much faster when you watch someone else get coached on a topic and all the topics will apply to you. Everything everybody gets coached on every week is applicable to you in your business, believe it or not. We are far more alike than we are different. So yes, the coaching calls they aren't like this. This is a meeting where you can see everyone and I'm talking to Emily. When Emily and I coach on the weekly coaching calls, it's just she and I on camera. It's a webinar setup. So everyone else is there, but she can't see them. She can't see their names. It's just like her and I in a private room having a private chat, which is what makes it so personal to her. And then I take her off camera, put her back in the audience, and I bring the next person on. So that is what the coaching calls look like each week. I usually coach 3 to 4 people each week. Everything is recorded and put in a private podcast. So probably about 10% of the group makes it live to a coaching call. Everybody else watches the recording on their own time. So just know that you will change and grow so much faster and thoroughly and deeper because of the group coaching setting. And it's safe. I hold safe space. There's lots of compassion. And you might think, oh, I'm scared to bring something up, but people bring up all kinds of things. We work on anything you might have been scared to bring up. We've probably covered in a coaching call. So Ina, I see your hand raised. Do you have a question?
Yes. Hello.
Hi.
My name is Ina Liljeström.
And
It's
where are you in from?
I'm in Finland, so I'm in northeastern Europe over here.
Wonderful. Welcome.
So it's already 8:30 in the
I was going to
evening.
say it's late for you. Thank you for being here.
Yeah. So I took over our family farm 2 years ago, and I moved here to the countryside from Helsinki. I have a degree in engineering, and now I study agrology. I've started to farm organic cereals, and I'm interested in starting direct sell. And I have gotten really very much inspiration from your podcasts and everything. So the thing that I'm thinking about is whether, to your experience, do your marketing, what you learn how to market and connect with people, does it also is it the same in over here, for example, where mentality and culture is a bit different?
Great question. Yes, I now have clients at least in 15 different countries. I don't think I have anyone from Finland, but we have France, Austria, lots of Canadians for sure, Australia, New Zealand, and where else? All kinds of countries. Yes, marketing is the same. So the relationship-based marketing, organic marketing I teach will work for you no matter what country you are in and what culture you're in. Now, you of course will, if you know there's local customs and of course local words and things you change because of that, that's great. For instance, in Australia, I had an Australian farmer reach out and say, we just wouldn't do 5 emails in one day in Australia. So she adapted it to herself and does 1. Now, a lot of you might be panicking, like, who does 5 emails in a day? But believe me, trust me, when your customers trust you and you're trying to sell out, they become thankful. They're like, thank goodness you sent that last email, because I didn't know that you were running out until I saw the last email and I got my order in before you ran out. So there might be custom things you might change, but for the most part, Ina, the everything I teach will apply to you. Oh, Scotland. I have people in Scotland and England too, no matter where you live. So yes, it will apply.
Okay, thanks for that. How about if I would join the program? How about the time differences? when there are the group calls and all those things?
Sure. Yes. Good question. So, and
So,
this applies to everyone because some people, I have a couple people who work every single Monday and they want coaching and they can't come at 10 a.m. Pacific. You just email me. Like next Monday, we're doing the call at 1 o'clock, or in a couple Mondays. When my Australia clients want coaching, we do it at 2 in the afternoon. If someone from, who is it? Slovakia. I have a client in Slovakia, and when he wants coaching, I do it at 9 a.m. Pacific. So
yes,
you would
a bit
just,
earlier.
yeah, you would just email me, Ina, when you decide you want coaching, and we would schedule a couple weeks out on the calendar at a different time. And it will, everyone, East Coast people, we make it work. So if you want coaching live from me, we will make it work.
Okay, thank you
Yeah.
very much. Okay,
Sure.
bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, I'm going to answer. Let's see. So, and just so you know, because I see a discussion like, is everyone flower farmers? In the program, you will see every kind of farm. There are a lot of everything. There are flower farmers, meat farmers, dairy, eggs, alpaca. I have oyster farmers in there, believe it or not. People doing just agritourism. What else? There's just everything you can imagine. Every animal, people selling everything. So there's 270 farmers or more in there now, and there's 270 plus different types of farms. So just know that whatever this marketing works, like Ina said, wherever you live or whatever it is you're selling. So, okay. Other questions? Anyone want to raise their hand and ask anything, or ask it in the chat, and I can answer it if you don't want to say it out loud, but you can certainly. I want to get your questions answered. There's also, I added Afterpay. So there is now a 6 and 12 month payment plan option. That's not through my company. You've probably seen it out in the world. So those two options are available, and it's all on the checkout link. You can do full pay, or I have a 4-month payment plan. So 4, 6, and 12. So we make it really accessible to everybody. It is a business write-off. Some people ask about that. You write it off in your business. This is a money-making program. So what I mean by that is you can set a goal when you purchase a program, set a goal of making your money back the first 30 days. I have people who email me regularly saying they made 10 times their money back or 100 times their money back. Seriously, it is not unusual. So that's why the investment a lot, and this is not just me talking, I take these quotes from all the people I've talked to in the program. It's just a no-brainer to invest that money because you will make it back many times over when you implement the coaching. You have to, listen to a coaching call and then go do the work or implement or start the email list, all those things. So when you do it, you will make money on your farm. And that applies whether you're small, half an acre, like Emily or Stephanie said, or hundreds or thousands of acres, or a 10,000 acre cattle ranch, whatever you are, you will see that reflected in the program, and you will make more money when you implement what I teach. So Emily, you raised your hand.
I wanted to address an issue, a concern, because I've been following you for years, and my concern was I've taken a lot of other classes, and it's not that they weren't full of good information, but they just didn't live up to my expectations, and it didn't really move the dial. And so, and it's the coaching is what the marketing information is so valuable and so dead on, but it's the coaching which allows me to do it, and it's just exceptional.
Great. Thanks for saying that. And I see that. That's why I added coaching 5 or 6 years ago. Was it just moved my marketing students ahead so much faster and thoroughly. Jennifer, you have a question? You can unmute yourself.
Hello. Okay, so I have been farming full time for 20 years. Myself, my husband, my whole family, we're established. We have a whole farm CSA. I'm not really looking for more of that. It's a very established business. We've been sold out for over a decade. We keep a waiting list, etc. I'm looking for cleaner systems, better time management, how to make my daily life a little more fine-tuned. And my biggest thing beyond that is I have a lot of ideas about adding income streams to what we already do that are not so labor intensive. And so that's a huge interest of mine. Is that anything that might be covered within?
Oh yeah. Yeah. The time management, Emily's chomping at the bit there. The time management system alone, I don't know if an email's going out tomorrow, maybe about that. That alone, people say over and over, is worth the price of the program. And that is the class I recommend you start with before you do marketing or anything else. That will change your life. And also then it'll extend out into your family, since you're farming with family. I have people in the program who make it part of their homeschool curriculum. Like the time management changed their life so much, they teach it to their kids, and then their kids are using it, and their kids will email me. I get messages from clients, teenage kids, who say that they used it and it changed their life, and they will tell me how. So yes, that will help you. Also, another thing that I would love to work with you on, Jennifer, when you say, we've done this for 20 years and we're thinking of adding other income streams, having coaching will help you make sure you're adding them when your current prices are where they need to be. So you're making a really solid profit there so that you can hire people, which will ease you. So it's because I get it. In my 50s, I didn't want to be milking cows at age 57. I get it. We want to make our farm sustainable. So that's how the program will help you too personally. I mean, just customized to you is get your current pricing up so you can hire more help before you add other income streams that are less labor intensive, and it will be much smoother and more streamlined, and you'll love it. You'll create a farm business that is much more sustainable. So yes, absolutely. That'll be so helpful for you. Great. Stephanie, you raised your hand.
I just wanted to say something about the money issue. And when you come from a place of abundance, it doesn't become a problem. I'm a single mom. I'll just be honest, I make about $50,000 a year. And it's always been there. Like the money has always, I'm not in debt at all. Like, and it was just so, and I was talking to somebody about this, it's just so amazing because of the hard work I did on my mind, that it wasn't, even when I paid for to learn how to become a coach, which was more money, it was always there. Not once did I have to worry about that. And I just thought this year, I thought, looking back, how utterly amazing it was that the money was always there.
And that's
the
mindset coaching. And a lot of people, again, if you've lived in financial scarcity, especially your whole life, like I did until I found this work, it's hard to imagine a place where the money is there. But through coaching, it's amazing how you keep more and you get more profitable, you keep more and more money. And then things like Stephanie's talking about come along that you want to invest in, and you've got the money, and the stress falls away and the anxiety falls away. So amazing. I want to answer a question. Dominique says, do you have a shorter program, or is it possible to only have a coaching call once per month? So you don't have to show up to a coaching call once a week. Like I said, probably 10% of people watch it live. Everyone else, Dominique, it's on a private podcast that you can listen to. You can listen to the coaching call once per month. You get to invest as much or as little time in the program as you want. It doesn't matter. I think and everyone puts in different amounts of time depending on where they're at. I have farmers in here with 13 children. I have farmers with 7 children under the age of 7. I have, nursing babies and toddlers and everything in between. And actually, that's Rochelle, she puts in more time than anyone in the program. So the more time you can put in the program, you will see your return greater. So if you put an hour a week, that's wonderful. You will get a return. You will notice a difference in your life. But if you can do an hour a day, like for me, when I first started, I was listening to my coaching calls while I was getting breakfast for the family. So like from 6 to 7 a.m. in the morning, I always had a coaching call on, and my life changed just from doing that. So when you hear the, dozens on the podcast that I've interviewed, they will say the ones who are getting the most, making the most, retiring from their day jobs, retiring their spouses from their day jobs, paying off their mortgages, they're putting in 1 or 2 hours a day in their mindset in this work. And it can be just listening to coaching calls, or actually sitting down using the planner that you all get when you join. You get the digital copy. Robin is so excited about this. So just know that the more you implement the program and do the work for an hour a day, you will have more growth. But you can do as little as you want, especially based on the season of life you're in. It's also why I made the program a year. I think if you put an hour in it every single day for 6 months straight, you could have the growth that my best clients get. But I've built it because our lives don't work that way. We have illness come in. We have things that break. We get pregnant. I've coached so many women who didn't expect to get pregnant, but they did, and they have to slow their farm business down, and then they can speed it up later. Or we're taking care of the generations, or we have special needs children already that we're taking care of, or that happen. People get diagnosis. So a year, it's why I make it a year, but you can put in as much or as little time as you want. Jennifer says, is the program self-paced? Yes, absolutely. You can dive in if you're in your slow season now. Do 1 or 2 or 3 hours. Lots of times I'll take a half a day on a Saturday and just spend like 4 hours making notes on coaching calls and really binge watch. That's what I said with the time management program. When you join, I'd love for you all to binge watch it this weekend. And then by next Monday, you will feel so different about just that one area alone. So, okay. Any other questions? You could feel free to raise your hand or put them in the comments. I can also answer them. I've got my eye on the comment box too. Or if Stephanie or Emily have anything to add about any of it too. What date? It starts right now. You have access, Alfredo, to everything when you sign up. So we have a coaching call coming up this Monday. So when you join, you have access. You will get an email that says, I highly recommend you start with the time management program. Click here to start. So you get immediate access to everything. It's a rolling start. So I don't have a start stop. The reason I have it a rolling start is you're going to come in the program and you're going to see Emily and Stephanie, who are months and years ahead of you, and you will grow so much faster because you see them doing things and you will model them. You'll have hope. You'll see an example of what's possible from everyone else in the program. If I started everybody at ground one on day one, we would all stumble over each other at first, like, oh, can I really do this? But when you join the program with people who are already in there, it is so much more inspirational and it makes your work easier. All right, Jennifer said, when are the coaching calls? So I usually host a coaching call Mondays at 10 a.m. Pacific. If you want to be on camera and get coached and that time doesn't work, you just email me. Like Ina was asking from Finland, I'll do it earlier in the morning so that she can get to bed on time. Australia clients, we do it later in the day. So normally though, they are 10 a.m. Monday and Pacific, and most people watch the recording anyway. You have access. My assistant uploads them within 24 hours. So you will hear the coaching call by the very next day. All right. Other questions or comments?
I've noticed, I think maybe the most profound change is all my life. I have learning disabilities and that sort of thing. And all my life, I would kind of throw up my hands and assume that something was just too hard and get really stuck. And I realized that, like, I no longer feel that way. When I feel that feeling, I'm like, oh, I just need to sit down and do nothing else but that. And then I can figure it out. And like, if I got nothing else, I mean, my whole life and what I'm modeling to my 4 kids is it's fun, it's fundamental change.
Yeah, you don't have to be stuck by anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't know you had learning disabilities, or if that's the phrase you use. I didn't know that. I didn't even see it. And that's the power of coaching. And I'm not saying, I am not claiming that this program cures ADHD, for instance, but I have had so many people in the program say that, wow, the time management program made me able to manage my life in a way I've never been able to because I have ADHD. So there are so many health things that people report that are anecdotal. Of course, I can't, claim any of those, but when you calm down your stress and anxiety, your health improves. And we see it over and over. I should start a thread in the Facebook group. We also have a private Facebook group so you can connect with each other. I could start a thread in there of what are the health improvements you've all noticed, because we have a lot of people saying things like, I take less medication, or I got off of it, or things like that. Also, if anyone else, I see some of my current clients on here. If anyone else wants to say anything, that would be amazing. Okay. Any social media coaching, website development coaching? Yes. So I have, I do a lot. I have a whole section called Advanced Marketing Strategies, where we are doing copywriting coaching, copywriting that you would use on your social media or your website. You get a book of pre-written sales emails when you join. It's a digital book. So you go in there and you can copy an email that another farmer has written, and then we perfected it so it works to get sales. And you can copy that email and just change. If they're selling meat and you're selling dairy, you will just change the things. Or they're selling flowers and you're selling fiber, you will just change what's applicable to you. But we do tons of website. I know I teach a whole class in there. There's several versions of it on how to build a profitable website. And we have a website class in there that my daughter taught years ago, but the key part, there are crucial things you need to have on your website that most farmers don't have, and they're covered in there. And then social media, it depends on if it's your mindset, like you're afraid to post on social media or you don't know what to post. We cover all of that. So yes, absolutely. Social media, website, all that is covered in coaching and in some of the advanced marketing strategies course we've already got in there. So yeah, I like to think it's pretty thorough.
It's everything you need to succeed in business.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I like to say
Yeah.
that, and I'm glad when you guys see it that way too, because I can preach that all day long because I think that, but to have you guys in the program saying that and experiencing that is just, proves it, follows it up. So it's great to have
I
that.
just wanted to say something to add to that. Oh,
Go ahead, Stephanie.
okay, sorry. Something to add to that is I think a lot of times people come on and like, oh, they're supposed to have these big grand ideas or dreams and stuff like that, but I don't know why it took so long for it to like hit me, but it was like I'm good where I'm small, and I'm just really happy where I am because I got to take 3 vacations with my kids, 5 weeks this year with my kids, and my girls got to show horses. And so it doesn't have to be these big, huge monetary goals. It can just be like these like life goals for your family that you have. And so I don't want people thinking like, oh, I have to have these big, huge, like $1 million goals, or, $300,000 goals or something like that.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
What's fascinating is we have so many people in there that are now making 200, 300, 500,000 in sales, million in sales, 2 million and millions of dollars in sales. And they too will say, yeah, the money's great. That's why I thought I was joining, but the other things are so much more profound.
Yeah.
Like Julia taking 3 camping trips in the summer with her kids but before she could hardly get one in, and it was a nightmare because they couldn't leave the farm hardly. That is life-changing. The money becomes secondary to everything else in your life changing and improving. And it's hard to see when you don't have money.
Yeah.
It's hard to see that. But like you just described, Stephanie, through the coaching, and you learn to calm down and keep more of the money and raise your prices so you're making more money, everything gets better. And then your lifestyle and your relationships are the most profound thing. And that's why a lot of people give up farming, is the money they're making is not worth the stress, the 18-hour days, all that. You can change all that doing this. So, okay. Any other questions? We have just a few minutes. Okay. Time is valuable. Do you find weld over with coaching several people? I'm not sure what you're asking, Kat, but the coaching, we do not get overwhelmed. I'm trained, so I certainly don't get overwhelmed. I coach 3 to 4 people on a call, not at a time, but one after the other. And so if I understand your question correctly, it's not overwhelming. And I think managing for overwhelm is built into the program with the time management course. The first thing you're going to learn this weekend, if you watch all those videos, is how to stay out of overwhelm. And then I teach you, you constantly get that message. Like, overwhelm is a thought. Overwhelm is something you create with your thoughts. Overwhelm feeling comes from thinking there's so much to do. So that's the first thing we reverse is, there's one thing to do, right? What if there's only one thing to do right now? What if there's only one thing you have to get done in the next hour? It takes the overwhelm away, and then you're so much more productive. So that's amazing. That's how coaching works. It helps you manage your mindset so you can do what you want to do. Okay. Yes. Okay. So Kat was asking if this gets to be too much, and glad to hear it's part of coaching. Coaching is what helps you get through this program and create a life where you're not overwhelmed. So managing for overwhelm is built into the program. I check in with you every week. I say, don't use this program to overwhelm yourself. Don't tell yourself I have to go through 30 videos this week. I teach you how in the time management program to create personal time every day and put in there just exactly what you can get done in a day so that you don't overwhelm yourself. Now, some of you, that will mean that you will take things off your plate, but you will see in a coaching call, sometimes I ask a question and someone will say, oh yeah, I don't have to do that. A lot of things we're doing out of people pleasing and guilt. And so once you get coached, lots of times people let go of so many things because of that. So it's a combination of how you think about what it is you have going on. And then you also might learn to let go of things, which can be really relieving too. Okay, we just have 5 minutes left. Anyone have anything they want to ask? Do it in the chat or raise your hand, or anything you need to know in the next 5 minutes. Okay. Yes, the time management is geared towards farmers. Oh my gosh. Yes, you're going to love it, Jennifer. She said she's tried a few systems. It seems the weather or other unexpected events derail standard time management. They don't derail you in here. We learn. The first thing you're going to learn is you have to plan for those interruptions. Even if you don't know when they are or what they're going to be, you know that you have interruptions every week. So through coaching, you figure out if you're interrupted for an hour a day on average every day, or 5 hours a week on average every week, you plan for that. We build it into our schedules. You're welcome, Andy. Thanks for being here. Okay, so we're down to the last couple minutes. Expiration date. It is 365 days. So your audit, once you sign up, your audit, it's all automated. And then a lot of people renew and come back year after year. That's Stephanie. Emily just started in August, but I have a suspicion she'll be here year after year because you just keep growing. It's not like you learn stuff in the program here and then you're off the rest of your life. I get coached every week, and I will the rest of my life. So a lot of people stay on the community, the Facebook community. I was talking with Robin yesterday. You're right in the middle of my screen, Robin, on camera. And she was talking about how lonely it can feel when we're running these businesses. So you're in a Facebook community of like-minded people who are positive, and we're all very compassionate in there too. We don't criticize. There's no criticizing allowed. So Janice says, what is the fee for the next? Oh, I give a 20% discount on your second year. So first year, full price, second year, 20%. You're going to continue growing, and it's worth I don't want to say it's worth so much more than that. Everyone I talk to, the farmers in the group, say they make their investment many, many times over in a year, many times. So whether it's 2,000, 2,500, 10,000, they make them many times that. So I'd love for you all to get in there, because I have so much evidence, so many farmers whose lives are improving, not just theirs, but their marriages have never been better. Their spouses say the same thing. Their spouses say, I'm so glad you're in that coaching program. You've sure changed. Life is so much better. And so lots of times you think your spouse might be the problem, but we learn that when we change, the people around us change. When you learn these skills, people around you will grow too and respond to you differently. Is there a charge for today's Zoom? No, this class is free, you all. This is free. I mean, this isn't even a class. It's a Q&A. So we're just coming together for free. Think of it as a free coffee chat here. Nope, no charge. I will email it out later if you wanted to see more or see it again, or maybe you weren't here for the whole thing. Thank you, Kat. I appreciate it. All right.
One other thing keeps coming up for me, with like the time management is so helpful, but also like when you reduce the clutter of your thoughts, that takes so much energy, and you're using so much bandwidth and mental, cognitive room on it. It's bananas. It's so good.
Yeah, the coaching will change that for people immediately. You can learn to stop looping on those thoughts that keep you stuck. And that's where the time comes back. That's where you get 10 to 20 hours a week, when you're no longer full of anxiety and looping on all these thoughts that our brain is wired to think. So if you don't give it something to think about, like let's write a marketing email, it's going to loop on negative things, and it's wired to go to the negative. So it's always going to loop on the negative. Coaching teaches you how to manage for that and interrupt that, so that you're no longer looping on the negative. You're no longer as critical and negative and cynical as you were. And I'm talking about myself too. I was that person 10 years ago, and it's changed how I look at everything, which means you create more success in your life when you are positive and looking for the positive instead of always bending toward the negative, which is our brain's inherent wiring. So, all right.
I have had people I've had people tell me I look younger.
Oh, I get that all the time. And I see that. You see people after their year of coaching, you start to age backwards when you get rid of the stress. It's really amazing. Another thing I'm
47.
Yeah, I'm not promising it will. It does not reverse gray hair, I've found, but
no,
it does. I look younger. I mean, people say that too. Okay, Teresa says, when do the one-on-one calls happen? You get our one-on-one coach's calendar, and you can book them through directly. So you will schedule their 25 minutes each, and you can use them anytime within your year. And though my calls on Monday have to be related to business and relationships in your business and personal things that are affecting your business. Your one-on-one calls, you can chat with anything. Like say you have something really awful going on in your life and you just want to get coached on that and unrelated to your farm business, you can take that to your one-on-one call too. So yes, you get those that can happen anytime within your year. All right. That's it, you guys. Thank you so much. Thanks to Emily and Stephanie for being here. Thank you to all of you. If you have more questions, email me. Send an email. You're going to get this recording in an email today. You're going to get more emails talking about answering other questions that have come up, and all my emails teach. Yes, they're have the link in there for you to buy the program, but they're going over a concept that will help you. So even if you don't buy, read the emails, because there's things in there you will learn and be inspired by. And like I said, we got all, 4-month, 6-month, 12-month payment plans, or the pay in full. What email address should we write? Oh, you can email me info@charlottemsmith.com. And you should have gotten an email from me in your inbox. It's why you're on this call, is you got an email from me. So you can just hit reply to that email that sent you this link, and we'll help you. Okay. Thank you, everyone. I would love to see as many or all of you in class. That would be great. I love it. Love it. All right. Take care. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you, Emily and Stephanie. Bye, everyone.